on a weird vacation. But who won Choose Your News while I was out?
I lost both times.
You only played twice?
Yeah, well, no, I don't remember who won between Mike and I. I think I won
No
one.
one
I think
knows?
won two. I had a terrible week.
Andrew, the producer, any idea?
I had a terrible week.
I think Mike had 3 wins.
Yeah,
and Tom Tangley had 1.
Man, I'm going to have to add
Todd
it to
had
the
1.
total.
Oh, did I beat Felix?
Yes.
Oh, I beat a guy who was on the radio
Can we
station
give
once a week.
all of the
who I
points to
love.
Tom just because he's nice?
No.
All right, then. Anyway, so Choose Your News. We give you the headline a little bit about a story. You text your vote, Candy, Mike, or Todd, or something about the story to 98973, the online Trading Academy text line. Be listening here at 406. We're going to see if your pick made it out on top. At this point, you are in total control of the show. We'll figure out that point situation. But now for the pitches. Mike Lewis, let's start with you. What's your story for today, sir?
We finally have an example of election fraud in this country that all sides agree actually happened. And better still, they might do the right thing to fix it.
Oh, that's Mike Lewis's story. You can text Mike to 98973. Todd, your story for Choose Your News?
Yeah, so here we are, February 2019, and I find myself forced to defend, in some ways, Dianne Feinstein. It's a very, very, very hard position for me to begin in. And here I am. I'm sitting here. You want to know why I, a conservative guy who can't stand Feinstein and her arrogance, why I am partially defending her? Because I have to. You want to hear the story of why? Text Todd's story to 98973. Candy.
Are you the type of person who watches True Detective or CSI or Law & Order or something, and you can solve the crime before the end of the episode? Of course you are. I have a story for you about Dawn. She would always see James as she walked to work at a courthouse in Arkansas, and she wondered about him. Turns out he'd been living on the streets for 15 years. She knew so little about him, but one day she decided to ask him a single question that would start an epic journey. If you'd like to hear about the epic journey of Dawn and James, you can text the word candy to 98973.
That's the lay of the land. You had some people who texted in some notes about your rabbit hole. And first of all, Candy's rabbit hole, it was about Queen. And we were talking about the Tony Awards and
the Oscars.
Right, the Oscars.
I'm talking about Wayne's World.
Dana and then you went down a rabbit hole.
And then I went down a rabbit hole. From the 206. All right. I don't know why I liked it so much, but the rabbit hole was amazing today on the recap of the history and the relationship between Queen and Wayne's World and the Oscars. I'm not proud of the things I know. These are just the things I know. From the 425, Wayne, you're going kind of mental over this Cassandra chick. Are you going to marry her? Garth, marriage is the form of punishment for shoplifting in some countries. All right, come on.
No, that's not fair.
We're just quoting Wayne's World at this point.
Yeah.
And somebody wanted to let you know you can watch Bohemian Rhapsody free on YouTube.
I can?
I guess so.
Well, the video for Queen, you mean the whole movie?
I don't know. I don't know if that's legit or not. I said somebody wanted to let you
Okay,
know.
look,
I didn't say it was true.
It's not every night I spoof an IP address. I mean, only on nights I want to watch. What? Nope, I'm not saying it out
Really?
loud. No, I'm not saying it out loud.
Subscription for that.
No,
but
see,
anyway, I like the
Candy,
people
that's wrong. I'm
from
talking about mainstream movies.
Sure. Some
I
are.
am.
From the 206, you should make the rabbit hole a thing. We can't make the rabbit hole a thing. It's only on certain things.
That person's right.
No, the rabbit hole can't be a thing.
That's a feature. That's it. Mike, you vote for a feature called The Rabbit Hole?
Now you're ruining
Where
it.
we just dig down into something?
It depends on whose rabbit hole.
No, it'll just be, we'll go around. When it's
like
an
you're
organic feature. All right,
ruining it.
Andrew, we all agree. Let's put together a sounder on that. I
How
love
did
it.
we all agree?
I sense agreement. I sense
Say
agreement.
no.
$30 million cuts
what?
to the Tacoma schools and the prepackaged salads. Those are gone. We'll dig into that. Seattle Weekly no longer in paper form. But the good news is we've got Kimmy Klein checking traffic and report brought to you by Buick GMC of Puyallup.
Yeah, and luckily no major accidents that are blocking any freeway lanes right now, but we had an earlier one northbound 5 at Northgate. It's off to the right shoulder, but traffic's backed up from the convention center most of the way to 145th and Shoreline. South 5 still stop and go into downtown starting at Lake City. 405 still getting busier out of Bellevue, especially leaving that 520 interchange in either direction, but floating bridges look good. South 5 in Sequilla is thickening up from the Duwamish curve past South 200th. Still backed up around the Fife curve from Highway 18, and 167's busiest south of 18, but West 512 still slow past an earlier accident near the South Hill Mall. KIRO Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Kimmy Klein.
It's Rachel Bell, and the biggest selection of Buicks and GMCs are at Harnish Auto family-owned Buick GMC store on River Road in Puyallup. Visit BuickGMCofPuyallup.com. We are professional grade.
Have a choke point you'd like us to look into?
We're going to pull the curtain back a little bit.
Drop a line on Twitter at KIRO Traffic or send an email to traffic@mynorthwest.com.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Choke points.
Presented by Online Trading Academy.
The Online Trading Academy also presents a series of free workshops. So what makes them workshops? Well, here's why. Because when you show up, you bring your spouse, your partner. They ask you to bring some of your finances. Why? So they can help you understand the fees you're paying now. Why? Because you want to know that if you decide to be a student. One of the reasons a lot of people become students of the Online Trading Academy, like me and John Curley, is because if you save money on the fees, you're already a great big winner. It's also a workshop because it's not a sales session. They're going to tell you up front all the reasons that some people don't want to be a student or shouldn't be. And there are no questions that are out of bounds. The patented system, yep, talk about that. You talk about the success rate, people who do a good job there. Talk about the mentor who's teaching it, their experience, and how they're doing in the market, all on the table. It's 3 hours of pure learning, and afterwards you will know if you want to be a student at the Online Trading Academy, and they're free. Here's how to get into one of the free workshops. Text my name, Todd, T-O-D-D, to 57682 and register for workshops in Everett, Tukwila, Gig Harbor, Silverdale, and Tumwater. Text Todd, T-O-D-D, to 57682.
Jet City Harley's dedicated team of finance experts are ready to help get you approved. Credit so bad your mama won't lend you money?
I'm sorry, dear, but your credit stank.
Let the Credit Rebuilders of Washington get you approved at Jet City Harley-Davidson. 100% of all credit applications considered. See JetCityHarley.com.
On approved credit.
2019 Mariners season tickets are now on sale, and there's no better time to start planning your trips to the ballpark. Mariners season tickets are great for family nights, friends nights, friends of friends nights, date nights, date days, sunny on a Wednesday days, that's enough work for today days, fireworks nights, and every marquee matchup, day or night, you can imagine. As a Mariners season ticket holder, you'll save big and enjoy flexible plans starting at 10 games at mariners.com/19.
Ball game over. Mariners win it.
The week ahead promises to be a seminal moment for the Trump presidency. The president's longtime fixer goes before Congress.
Candidate Trump personally directed him to commit campaign finance violations.
The Hanoi summit with the North Korean dictator.
What they are hoping now for is some kind of containment.
And we could finally reach the end of the Mueller investigation.
Looking for collusion. It's been 18 months. We're looking for collusion.
Trust KIRO Radio for the latest with local voices on national stories. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Radio app.
KIRO Radio 97.3 FM. News and talk. Powered by the Pacific Northwest.
Through the end of the month, when you choose Leak Armor installed windows from Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we'll pay your sales tax and give you a free upgrade to Milgard's heat deflecting Suncoat Max Glass. Ask about our financing. Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Now that all our phones are turned off and there's no texting, some introductions are in order. I'll start. Hi, I'm Dad.
And I am Mom. Hi, Dad. Mom, I'm Jeff.
Our son, I recognize you from the pictures. Why, you got big.
Who's the other one?
I'm Julie, the youngest.
Julie!
Of course.
Mom.
Well, now that we're all caught up, what do you say to some family time?
Sure. Should I turn on Wheel?
Sounds great.
Yeah, push it.
Watch Wheel of Fortune with your family.
Peanut butter and jelly?
Yeah, Julie!
It's a great way to reconnect.
Tonight at 7 on Como 4. Tonight on Como 4, Project Seattle first told you about one offender with 72 convictions. He's not alone. Hundreds more, homeless and habitual, offending and back on your streets. Como 4, tonight at 11.
Hi, I'm Gert Swanson, host of Seattle Refined. Every weekday on Como 4, we bring you the hottest things going in Western Washington. Food, fashion, furry pets, and more. We bring it to you. If it's trending, we're all over it. Weekdays at 3 on Como 4.
You have watched the shows on flipping homes and buying investment properties and thought, I want to do that. Let Eastside Funding turn those dreams into reality. Eastside Funding is the industry leader in providing no-hassle loans, rehab, and construction funding. In business over 14 years, Eastside Funding lends with as little as 10% down. No credit check, no appraisal, and close in as little as 3 days. Locally owned and operated, Eastside Funding has loaned over $1 billion to people like you. Learn how easy it is at eastsidefunding.com.
If you own a home with knob and tube wiring and want to replace it without massive wall damage, call Seatown Electric Heating and Air. They specialize in rewiring old knob and tube and continue to lead Angie's List with over 1,000 A reviews. Update your knob and tube wiring with Seatown Electric Heating and Air. Have a qualified technician come to your home for a free inspection. Call 206-202-3738 or go to seatownelectric.com.
Call C-Town Electric Heating and Air.
Hi guys, it's Rachel Bell, and this weekend when you're trying to figure out something fun to do with your friends or your family, think about Muckleshoot Casino, your first choice for food, fun, and gaming. So Muckleshoot Casino offers more than 3,100 gaming machines, over 100 table games, and the best poker in the Pacific Northwest. They have a bunch of delicious restaurants and great entertainment options in Club Galaxy. Get all the latest promotions, entertainment, and dining specials at muckleshootcasino.com. It's all about you at Muckleshoot Casino in Auburn, the biggest and best in the Northwest.
You might not be able to get a new car with your tax refund, but you can make your car feel like it's brand new. Come into Mako today and get your dream paint job during their tax season sales event.
KIRO Radio, 97.3 FM. Online at mynorthwest.com and streaming on the KIRO Radio app. KIRO FM, Tacoma, Seattle. News and talk. Powered by the Pacific Northwest.
President Trump heads to Vietnam in search of a deal with North Korea.
We want denuclearization.
The Trump administration tightens the screws on Venezuela's Maduro.
Additional sanctions on regime officials.
Extreme weather from high winds to soaking rains.
2 people are missing in floodwaters in northern Alabama.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition, sponsored by the Capital One Saver Card.
President Trump en route to Vietnam for this week's second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
We're speaking loud, and I think we can have a very good summit. I think we'll have a very tremendous summit.
I'm Stephen Portnoy in Hanoi, Vietnam. Kim Jong-un arrived here by train. It's not clear how much of Vietnam he may have seen from the tracks, but if he were to spend time touring the capital of this communist country, he'd see it buzzing with commerce. CBS News consultant Robert Carlin is a former CIA analyst who took part in past talks with North Korea.
The North Koreans, specifically Kim Jong-un, have a lot of things they want to do to improve their economy. That's where our leverage is.
President Trump has often stressed the economic opportunity that awaits the North if a nuclear deal can be reached.
The Trump administration stepping up the pressure on Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro following a weekend of violence between troops and supporters of opposition leader Juan Guaido. Vice President Pence used a gathering of South American leaders in Colombia to announce new sanctions targeting members of Maduro's regime, including 3 border state governors responsible for the weekend bloodshed.
With great respect, the United States calls on all the nations gathered here to intensify efforts to deny the Maduro regime access to financing.
CBS's Olivia Gazis.
In a gaggle with reporters afterward, he declined to specify what red line would have to be crossed in order for the United States to engage militarily. He said that President Trump would have to determine that in consultation with his allies.
The South is bailing out of days of heavy rains. CBS's Jim Krasula.
Many rivers, including the Tennessee and Mississippi, are flowing at record levels after parts of the South got 15 inches of rain the past week. Kathy Summers' flooded Tennessee neighborhood is in bad shape.
This is my grandparents' and my great-grandparents' house. Matter of fact, I lived in this house for my first 6 months of my life. It's hard to see this.
Flooding and tornadoes claimed several lives in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky.
In the Midwest and Northeast, it's been high winds kicking up trouble, including power outages. Jennifer Young of Jersey Central Power and Light.
We saw wind speeds pick up across New Jersey about sunup this morning. Currently are experiencing sustained winds 35 to 40 miles per hour and gusts of up over 55 in much of our service territory.
On Wall Street, the Dow gained 60 to 26,091. Now this.
Brought to you by the new Capital One Saver Card. Earn 4% cash back on dining and entertainment, 2% at grocery stores, and 1% on all other purchases. What's in your wallet?
The state attorney general and the president will dance once again in federal court. Details coming up next, but first we check KIRO Radio real-time traffic. Hello, Kimmy Klein. What's up?
Hey, so we don't have any major accidents in the way. That's good for the Monday, but an earlier one, northbound 5 at Northgate, is pretty much cleared from the right shoulder, too. We're just backed up now out of downtown Seattle from the convention center throughout Shoreline and a little bit more getting north of the Aldwood Mall. A little heavy in Everett, too, around 41st past Highway 2. Now, South 5 into Seattle, stop and go from about the U District is thickening up from the Duwamish River curve up the South Center Hill and already heavy in a Fife from Highway 18. Southbound 167 is now busiest south of 18 into Puyallup, and our backups on 405 are getting busier, especially northbound off and on towards 522. South 405 is mostly busy right in downtown Bellevue approaching 112, but we're still looking great across Lake Washington on both floating bridges. This report sponsored by Sound Glass. User tax return on new windows and doors from Sound Glass that will elevate the value and the beauty of your home. Visit soundglass.com to get started. KIRO Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Kimmy Klein.
Now, from the KIRO Radio Newsroom and streaming on the KIRO Radio app.
Washington State's Attorney General is suing the Trump administration over new rules requiring family planning clinics receiving federal funding to be totally separate from abortion providers. KIRO Radio's Jillian Raftery has more.
Attorney General Bob Ferguson says what the Trump administration is doing is illegal. It's putting politicians in the room with doctors and patients. Today, he announced his 34th lawsuit against the president.
I don't file a lawsuit unless I'm confident we're going to prevail. We've won 17 consecutive cases against this administration. We have not lost a case yet.
It's over the recently announced Title X rule, which strips federal funding from groups that provide or refer patients for abortions. Planned Parenthood and others could lose millions, leaving many, especially low-income patients, without any family planning care.
A Kent City employee is in a whole world of trouble. He's accused of driving a work truck while drunk, hitting and killing a man, and not stopping. Fortunately, a witness followed him until cops got there. This happened Saturday night on 108th Avenue Southeast and 204th Street in Kent.
The cars go by really fast through here, and I see people crossing back and forth.
Man was a part-time employee for the Park Department's maintenance division. He has been canned. You'll probably recognize the name of the person drafted as head coach and general manager for the new XFL Seattle team, former Seahawk Jim Zorn.
We've already got 8 season ticket holders. Did you know that? We're going to have 8 people I know of in the stands. It's going to be awesome. CenturyLink's going to fill right up.
Zorn says he's excited to help develop young players and coaches alike. Here's your forecast.
Sunshine for the drive home. I don't think you're going to have to worry too much more than that. Otherwise, low to mid-40s. Now, there could be a little bit of moisture coming in off the Cascades. That's about it. From there, partly sunny, cold morning tomorrow, but then still afternoon sun. I'm KIRO 7 pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard.
Clear, 42 in downtown Seattle. I'm Frank Shires.
From Everett to Eastlake, this is KIRO Radio 97.3 FM.
News and talk, powered by the Pacific Northwest.
This is the Candy, Mike, and Todd Show on KIRO Radio 97.3 FM. 97.3 FM.
Why are you throwing stuff? Why you got to be that way? Why you got to try to hit Michael, who's over in the corner studio with paper?
Trying to hit the camera right on. If you go to our Facebook page right now, you can see.
Why you got to be this way?
Oh!
Knock it off. Look at what you're doing in here. Causing a mess. You know there's people who have to come and pick that up. It's not you,
Yeah,
Candy.
it's me.
All right. Appreciate it, Mike Lewis, if you jump in and help me moralize over here. Candy's throwing stuff in the studio.
No one wants to hear you
it's
moralize
right.
anything. It's fine. Can we do Choose Your News now? Or
I don't think it's right. Those are trees, Mike. She just threw trees.
Well, they were.
I just
the act of
trees.
throwing them isn't what took them from being trees. You do know that.
I do know that.
I'm entering the lumberjack competition in Buckley
Will you stop?
immediately.
That is so rude. It's the Candy, Mike, and Todd show, and Candy can't be bothered to do radio.
She's doing the thing that the old Letterman tradition of throwing something at the camera.
That
That's
one
what
was
I'm
good,
saying.
though. That
Yeah,
was
and if
close.
it hits Michael, then we have a whole workplace claim, and then that's an L&I thing, and now we're going to tell the truth about why you're gone for a week in L&I, or are we just going to keep up with that? Oh, I was on vacation. Isn't there a feature we do here in this segment? Is there a thing we do?
Probably did agree with you because you make the best choices. This is Choose Your News. We're not quite sure what the score is at this point because no one was keeping track. We're giving all of our points to Tom Tagney. That's okay. We gave you the headline. You've been texting your votes, Candy, Mike, or Todd, or something about the story to 98973, the online Training Academy text line from the 206. Sad to see the weekly go out of print. I don't want my parent reading The Stranger. Also, Todd's story, please. Thank you. From the 425, I just listened to Felix's podcast when you guys were out, and Todd did not beat him. Mike's story today. And from the 253, Candy.
It was the ape, yeah.
I love the detective shows. I can't wait to hear about Dawn. Well, bad news. You're going to have to wait.
A winner!
Because the winner today happens to be Todd.
I like that clapping in the background. Thanks very much. Okay, so here's my story. It's February 2019. I find myself in the odd position of having to defend someone I can't stand, an arrogant woman who should have been voted out of office long ago, Dianne Feinstein. Most of you heard the exchange between her and some kids who somehow or other ended up in Washington, D.C., all organized, etc.
Trying to ask you to vote yes on the Green New Deal.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
We have our own Green New Deal.
Some scientists have said that we have 12...
So the kids descended into their talking points.
It's kind of cute.
No, it's sick. It makes me sick. So here's how the exchange actually started.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. She greeted people.
Tell me where you're from.
So she was friendly. Now, here's why I'm defending Dianne Feinstein, is at the end of this interaction, she said, you can go back and tell the people who sent you. And I like that. I'll tell you why. It's because it is incumbent upon the media, in my judgment, to spend more time talking about the Sunrise Movement. The kids didn't pay for their own flights. They didn't organize this. In fact, it's not that hard to find out who did. A guy named Evan Weber did. He's done nothing, as I can tell, near as I can tell, since college, but organize these things. He's part of the U.S. climate movement. He's part of the divest of fossil fuels movement. He worked with a guy named Michael Dorsey. Michael was at the EPA under President Obama. He's done a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of Sierra Club people involved. There's a Sarah Blazevich, of Helsinki, Prakash, etc. ad nauseum. These are hardcore political activists. They know what they're doing, and their goal is to raise $2.9 million this year. Now, the kids want to go. That's great. Parents want to go. That's great, too. I just say let's be upfront about this group. Let's not act like it's organic. Let's not act like the kids did this on their own. Let's tell some truth. So I think Feinstein sort of did that right here.
I think it has a much better chance of passing than what this is, because there is no way to pay for what it gets done, so nothing will happen. So you be the judge. You take a look at it. We're going to get you a copy.
But we have come to a point where our Earth is dying, literally, and it is going to be a pricey and ambitious plan that is needed to deal with the magnitude of that issue. And so we're here asking you to vote yes on the resolution for the Green New Deal, because that is the only
that resolution will not pass the Senate, and you can take that back to whoever sent you here.
And to whoever sent you here should be central to the story. I've heard it in some media coverage, not enough for my taste, because the who, what, where, when, why starts with the who and the money, and I'd like to see that. Now, Feinstein's an arrogant woman. She said these all in arrogant ways, but I support her for saying, tell the people who sent you. That's the weird position I'm in, Candy.
No, wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are we mad at her for saying that?
I'm not. Some people are. Some people didn't like her attitude. I don't like her attitude either. I applaud her for saying, whoever sent you. I just wish she had known who sent them. And I think this should be a known quantity. So instead of the media calling it the Sunrise Movement, why don't we also say founded by some Obama administration veterans, some Sierra Club board members, and some big donors? That's all. That's just me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's sort of intuitive.
I don't think so. I think a lot of people think these things are organic.
No, most of them are props and set up.
A lot of people.
I don't know if
a lot of people don't think so.
Yeah. For me,
yeah.
Maybe I just read these things differently.
Yeah.
When I see that on either side of the political spectrum, I assume that it's activists who show up to things because it's activists who show up to things.
No, but
it seems like a little overwrought for being sort of insulted by the notion that activists showed up and sort of
as I'm saying, I'm not insulted by the notion that kids were caused to show up at an event. They're not the activists. The activists are the ones who are paying for
they're
it.
Props.
Right, they're
Right.
props.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. No, we did these. We did
So,
studies
like the baby kissing photos. I mean, kids have been props in politics,
Yeah.
wittingly and unwittingly
Excuse me, sir,
since
can you
politics
kiss my
began.
baby?
I just think the who, what, where, when, why is important to journalism. But that's just me. That's just the way I see it.
Well, but that was in the stories that I read about this.
Yeah, you read better stories than I did. Because I didn't see that
Frequently.
coming away.
Frequently.
Yeah,
You
I
read
want
better
everybody to
stories.
witness what I just did there. That's me taking one for the team. That's me handing Mike
Well, congratulations.
because he likes to snipe at me.
On your
Even
win.
when you hand me something, you're the one who gets all the credit.
No, I'm just saying. I handed it out to you. That was a radio thing.
So
It's a radio thing.
The listeners and I at 98973 have tabulated all the votes since I was gone for Choose Your News. And so what we have come up with is Mike currently stands at 10. Todd, you stand at 11. And I stand at 5. But Tom, who filled in for us, stands at 15. And I don't know how that happened, but I don't think it's right.
Yeah, something tells me. There, Mike. Mike's going to talk about vote fraud later. You heard about the Tagney thing, didn't you? Well, you were
did.
gone. Yeah. All right, Kimmy Klein. Here's the thing. When you come on the Candy, Mike, and Todd shows, we need you to bring at least one piece of good news into the traffic report, even if it's just that the traffic report is here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can do that.
Okay,
the
good.
good thing is we haven't had any major accidents blocking
There
in
we
a
go.
while. And it's